See, it's going in and out. Thank you. Keep one of your headphones off your ear so you can hear. Yes. Oh, yes. Slippery over here. Whoa. Okay. Be careful. Be careful. All right. So, what's the tips we're going to share today for communication? We are out for our daily walk, and we got to share some tips for you that you can do with either family, friends, those on the spectrum, special needs, whatever it is. It's always helpful when you can learn how to communicate more effectively. So that was the message I was given today. Share some communication tips that I have used alongst the way. For those who do not know, I'm Dr. Ali, audiologist, speech pathologist, coach, autism parent, speaker, trainer, etc., etc., etc. And that's my son, Zachary, at the back. We are taking our walk and talk, and we have been chronicling a lot of our last few years, I guess, in life and his growth process, and just my gifts and communication and how it's helped him to be at the stage of success or the levels of where he is, because everyone can determine success on their own. I like to say success because, hey, we made it. High school diploma. That was a lot of work. So some communication tips on what helped in him getting his high school diploma for New York. You got to take your regents. And that was a big one for us. Some of you guys know I did a live about my concerns about him taking regents and testing, period. Like, why do they give these standardized tests to kids on the spectrum who are not great test takers? He's not a good test taker. And not even him on the spectrum. There's just some people who are just not great test takers. But rules are rules, and they want to be able to show some sort of quantifiable um, information on why they're giving degrees or diplomas. So he had to take his regents, a whole bunch of regents, to graduate with his high school diploma in New York. And each regent was a different lesson that we learned along the way. A lot of repetition, a lot of there's this thing I did when I was in college that I used later on with him, that I've also used when I was teaching as an educator, is there's 3 times you want to go over the information. You want it to go over the information so you can tap into all the modalities of learning. You know, there's 3 different modalities: visual, auditory, tactile, and every child learns differently. But sometimes it's a combo, and sometimes we don't talk about the combo. So me, I'm an auditory and a visual learner, but I also like to feel things, right? I want to go through the experience. When I go through the experience, I can share it. So I began to learn that's how Zachary learned too. So as we are now going through the driver's permit book, we went back to our same strategies we used for regents, which is I would read it to him as he's looking at the information. That's his auditory learning. And then he would go over it and read it to himself or read it to me out loud. And then when we're driving, like here, this is a sign, right? We'll talk about what we see, and we'll go back to the book, and we'll create some practicality behind it. So it's not just, oh, these signs in the book, but here are signs that we see every day. Here's the stop sign we're going to come up to. And in the driver's permit book, it speaks about the red sign, the stop sign. So these are the times I'll ask him questions, and as we're out in the community. So I included our walks and talks with our driver's permit preparation and real life situations so that we can talk about, look, there's even another sign up there, the yellow sign. And in the driver's permit book, we see those. That's the road is changing, caution sign. We're gonna keep walking. And just using real life scenarios in the book and real life scenarios as we experience it. So that's tactile learning. We got to feel it, know it, experience it, talk about it. So my communication tip to you guys today, and this may work for anyone. It works for children as I was an educator. Also works with kids on the spectrum because you get to find out what is their learning modality and what you can use to really learn. And he's like me. We like it all three ways. So I provide that for him when I can. And it's like the alertness and being aware of it as an audiologist, a speech language pathologist, and someone who's done early intervention for got to be over 10, 15 years of just working with little ones. Um, I began to learn that even in the classroom, kids will learn more. People will learn more when you speak to their learning modality. There's literally, there we are. So we're doing a quick walk around town. Now we're looking at signs. Are you paying attention to the signs from the driver's ed book?
Uh-huh.
So the stop sign and the caution sign tells us the yellow sign, rectangular.
Oh, yeah, and speed limit sign.
There's the speed limit sign, yep. It's white, rectangular. Yep.
Golf course. Right there.
Yes, it's a direction sign. Tells you. And if you look back, how many signs do you see on this side?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. What do those two tell you?
The bicycle sign.
Okay, so it's a caution. That means a bicycle is gonna what?
Gonna pass through.
Gonna pass through or probably cross over the street over there.
Yes.
And then what's that other sign behind it? The other yellow sign. What does that mean?
Squiggle.
Squiggle.
No.
What does that mean? That means the road is about to go through some turns.
Turns. Yeah, like turns.
So if you're driving, you gotta be prepared for that.
Be careful.
Be careful, because there's a caution sign, so it's yellow.
You don't want to have an accident, do you?
Huh?
You don't want to have an accident, do you?
I can't hear you.
You don't want to have an accident, do you?
You don't want to have an accident. No, you don't. So we pay attention to the signs. So this is the stage we're in. We're doing driver's ed permit stage, as we did the regions. Could you believe I did that with almost all the regions? Like we took the book. He had a tutor come in because we had someone else work with him on those strategies. Sometimes it's different voices and different people's modalities that will help. Don't take it personal. I didn't take it personal. Sometimes you don't want to hear mom's voice as the only voice teaching him. So Miss Natalie was super helpful in the regions. And then me just finding the time, which is the hardest thing for us parents, is to find actual time. Finding the time to prioritize this. I knew the driver's permit, or at that time I knew the regions was something he really wanted with a regular high school. So I did not realize that we had to go through all these regions, because when I was in school, it was a regions diploma. Or there's regular diplomas that you didn't have to take regions, you took RTTs. Times have changed. But it's all good. So there he goes. We're going up to our next caution sign. And he is doing his walk and talk. I love this time because he gets to run, jump, get the energy out. He gets some movement, mental health, wellness. I'm a great few paces behind him. So he still gets to have his independence. But still checks in on me, make sure I'm still here. And it allows him to navigate the world. Right? So that's been part of the venture of parenting on special needs and being a person who has background in education and communication. I've learned these little things are what help. They helped in the classroom, which God gave me blessings to. And it helped to learn more about him. And as I began to learn more about him, and I couldn't have anybody else tell me any different, because I was already equipped with tools, right, to learn how to assess and then how to best give him what he needs communication-wise. Excuse me, so he can learn and he can be successful at that task at hand, whatever the task at hand is. And guys, make sure you subscribe and follow, and if you have questions, let me know. We are in driver's permit preparation as we walk and talk, and I share some insights with you. I'd love to share some communication strategies and some educational tips as we are walking. So part of our venture today is to look for some of the signs that we see in the driver's permit book. So it's still the caution signs, the yellow signs. And we're coming up to a few more right now. So times let's talk about it. And or when we go back to the book, we'll bring it back into, oh, remember this sign we saw on the street? What did that remind you? Caution, yellow. The white sign with the number. So people see the reward at the end. They see the graduation. They see the how he is now. Not realizing that there's so much behind the scenes work of consistency, of awareness, of utilizing a lot of my strengths that I had from before, which we all have strengths from before, and really helping him to achieve his level of success because God gifted him to me and gifted me to him. And I pretty much think that's whoever it is, whoever gets to work with me in whatever capacity God has gifted you to work with me. Whether it's in coaching, whether it's communication, whether it's speaking, business, parenting. It's all from strength base, and it's all from practicality. It's all from living it, being successful in it, and then sharing it so that others can expand in their venture. But it makes no sense me helping others and helping you out there and coaching folks out there when I'm not doing the same thing at home, which is where the real deal happens. That's where I start practicing naturally, not even thinking, realizing that that's what's happening. There's some more. Zachary, let's talk about these signs. What do you see? Zach? Okay. He got headphones on both ears. We're still working on that. See, one earphone on, one earphone off. That's what helps you to be more aware in the environment so that you're not blocked up from sound, natural sounds. You got to hear what's going on around you. Remember I was talking about that in Brooklyn? Yeah, being in other states, you bring all your Brooklyn strategies elsewhere. So what's the signs? Go over these signs quickly. Zachary, no. The signs. You got to come and see the signs. And then remember to keep your headphone on one ear so you can hear me. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear me. Right? So, we got some yellow signs here.
Roundabouts ahead.
Roundabouts ahead. What else?
Cars go around
and
around.
What speed should you go at?
20 miles per hour.
Okay, good. And then what about the signs on top? What did that tell you?
Which direction you were going to?
Okay, the streets.
Streets.
You got one that's going southeast to the right, and then one's going southeast to the left. All right. Good job. Now we got some more signs ahead. We're gonna walk over to those signs. We're gonna walk up some more to the roundabout and look at those signs over there. I see a yield at the end. So, could you believe? So here's the best part about this. Let me give you some history. I used to do early intervention with little ones as a speech language pathologist. And one of the best things I used to love to do with them in the summer was take them out for walks, community, right? Community speech, community natural things that you do in your normal environments and how we use that for speech. So I used to do this like a lot with my little ones. So while we're walking, we are paying attention to things we see, like the red trees, the leaves, the changing of the colors, what's same, what's different, ooh, let's look at these little berries. And now you can look these things up in AI and get more information, but I just used to use what I knew back then. So our walk and talks have always been super educational because I've been doing it with other kids that were not my kids for years. So when I say that we're walking for wellness and our well-being, yes, it's health-wise. Yes, it's getting us out the house and burning some calories. Yes, it's great for our mental health. Yes, it's good for stability of the body. But it's also super educational, great communication based. When you have nothing to talk about with your kids or your teenagers or your mate, go outside for a walk. There's so much in